Because of Winn Dixie, Chapter 26, by Kate DiCamillo, read by Stacey Kingery. Outside, the rain had stopped and the clouds had gone away, and the sky was so clear it seemed like I could see every star ever made. I walked all the way back to the back of Gloria Dump's yard. I walked back there and looked at her mistake tree. The bottles were quiet. There wasn't a breeze. So they were just hanging there. I looked at the tree and then I looked up at the sky. Mama, I said, just like she was standing right beside me, I know 10 things about you, and that's not enough. That's not near enough. But Daddy's going to tell me more. I know he will. Now that he knows you're not coming back, he misses you, and I miss you, but my heart doesn't feel empty anymore. It's full all the way up. I still think about you, I promise, but probably not as much as I did this summer. That's what I said that night underneath Gloria Dump's mistake tree. And after I was done saying it, I stood just staring up at the sky, looking at the constellations and planets. And then I remember my own tree, the one Gloria helped me plant. I didn't look at it for a long time. I went crawling around on my hands and knees searching for it. And when I found it, I was surprised at how much it had grown. It was still small. It looked more like a plant than a tree. But the leaves and the branches felt real strong and good and right. And I was down there on my knees when I heard a voice say, "Are you praying?" I looked up. It was Dunlap. "No," I said, "I'm not praying. I'm thinking." He crossed his arms and looked down at me. "About what?" he asked. "All kinds of things." "All kinds of different things," I said. "I'm sorry that I yelled at you and Stevie, bald-headed, that I called you and Stevie bald-headed babies." "That's all right," he said. "Gloria told me to come out here and get you." "I told you she wasn't a witch." "I know it," he said. "I knew it all along. I was just teasing you." "Oh," I said. I looked at him close. It was hard to see him good in the dark. "Ain't you ever going to stand up?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. And then he surprised me. He did something I never in a million years thought a Dewberry boy would do. He held out his hand to help me up, and I took it. I let him pull me up to my feet. "I'll race you back to the house," Dunlap said, and he started to run. "Okay," I shouted, "but I'm warning you, I'm fast." We ran, and I beat him. I touched the corner of Gloria Dump's house right before he did. "You shouldn't be running around in the dark," said Amanda. She was standing on the porch looking at us. "You could trip over something." "Aw, Amanda," said Dunlap, and he shook his head. "Aw, Amanda," I said too, and then I remembered Carson, and I felt bad for her. I went up to the porch and took a hold of her hand and pulled on her. "Come on," I said, "let's go inside." "India Opal," Daddy said, when me and Amanda and Dunlap walked in. "Are you here to sing some songs with us?" "Yes, sir," I said. "Only I don't know many songs." "We'll teach you," he said. He smiled at me real big. It was a good thing to see. "That's right," said Gloria Dump. "We will." Sweetie Pie was still sitting in her lap, but her eyes were closed. "Care for a litmus lozenge?" Miss Franny asked, passing me a bowl. "Thank you," I told her. I took a litmus lozenge and unwrapped it and put it in my mouth. "Do you want a pickle?" Otis asked, holding up his jar of pickles. "No, thank you," I said. "Not right now." When Dixie came out from underneath Gloria's chair, he sat down next to me and leaned into me the same way I leaned into my daddy. And Amanda stood right there beside me, and when I looked over at her, she didn't look pinch-faced at all to me. Dunlap cracked his knuckles and said, "Well, are we going to sing or what?" "Yeah," Stevie echoed. "Are we going to sing or what?" "Let's sing," said Sweetie Pie, opening her eyes and sitting up straight. "Let's sing for the dog." Otis laughed and strummed his guitar, and the flavor of the litmus lozenge opened in my mouth like a flower blooming, all sweet and sad. And then Otis and Gloria and Stevie and Miss Franny and Dunlap and Amanda and Sweetie Pie and my daddy all started to sing a song, and I listened careful so I could learn it right. Questions to consider. 1. Some literary characters make a very strong first impression. How does Opal introduce herself to the reader? What do you discover about her life and her personality right from the start? Pause this video and think about it. Number 2. Opal usually calls her father Daddy, but she often thinks of him as the preacher. Why does she use different terms for the same man? Pause this video and talk about it. Number 3. Winn Dixie is ugly, limping, and smelly, but Opal knows within moments that she loves him with all of her heart. What makes the stray so irresistible? Why is Opal ready for something to love? Pause the video and talk about it. Number 4. Discuss the 10 things that Opal learned about her mother from her father. Why do they reveal her mother's strengths? What do they reveal about her weaknesses? Do they help explain why she left? Do they excuse her actions? Pause this video and talk about it. Litmus lozenges created by Mr. Black after the Civil War aren't like other candies. What makes them so special? Examine how each character in the novel responds to his or her litmus lozenge. What does the candy reveal about each of them? Pause this video and think about it or talk about it. Number 6. Gloria Dump says, "There ain't no way you can hold on to something that wants to go. You understand? You can only love what you got while you got it." What does that mean? What does she mean by that? And how does that relate to you? Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story.